Hello, everybody. Welcome to the ESG Podcast. I'm Tilo313, joined today by Mr. Showtime, the MVP, Dre Robinson, and Cable 2KX, Chris Jordan. Gentlemen, what's going on?
Nothing much, man. Excited to be back.
Yeah.
Second episode.
I almost feel bad being inside because it's such a nice day outside for October.
Oh yeah, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. We should be recording outside, man, like on some NFL live type stuff, man.
Maybe take the
Like,
show on the road next week.
Let's take it on the
like
road.
College game day.
We're gonna go down to Campus Marshes and record right there on the sand. Let's
There
do it.
Yeah.
There you go. You can even shoot some hoops too while we're down there.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Man. Most definitely. Glad to be back.
Exactly. Let's hit the ground running here, and let's start off with the Breaking Bad finale just happened last week. Now, admittedly, I never watched the show, never got into it, and I seem like I'm on a very small island apparently with everyone else.
Very small island.
Now, with that being said, the show, from what I've heard, is quite phenomenal. Kind of strange to see it end after only a few, I think, was it 5 seasons, if I'm wrong?
Yep. 5 seasons.
Now, what do you think about this, Dre? I know you're probably the biggest fan out of the three of us as far as the show. Not to say Chris doesn't watch the show, but I know just from conversations before, you've definitely been following the show from the beginning. And do you think they did you good at the end as far as wrapping it all up? You know, the show's ending. How did that work out for you?
Yeah, definitely. First thing I want to say is shame on you. Shame on you for not seeing this show, man.
I will go stand in the corner.
Yes, man. You've been put on timeout. But, man, you know what? I've been disappointed by so many finales in the past, but this really, really lived up to everything. I mean, they didn't leave any doors unopened. They didn't go the route of saying, hey, this is what happens to them, 10 years down the line, but you know what happens at the end of the series, and everybody is, it ended the series. You know what I'm saying? There's no question marks. It's, what the hell is happening with Walt? What's going on with Jesse? Whatever they started, they finished, and it was fucking awesome, man. I loved it. I've watched it twice since, you know what I'm saying? It's one of those endings, yeah. It was really good.
Yeah, I really like how they didn't leave any stone unturned. The whole wrapping it up with Jesse, wrapping it up with Walt. I thought the ending was phenomenal with him being back in the kitchen cooking.
I thought he was about to cook, man. I thought he was about to cook up another day.
Hey, spoiler alert here. No.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. I mean, if you haven't seen the series finale yet, you need to go ahead and shoot yourself in the head. Because, oh my God, the ending was phenomenal. They went out on the best note possible. It was one of those type endings, like he said, that it wrapped up everything. You didn't feel cheated. You didn't feel like you were left on a cliffhanger. You want to know what's going to happen next. No, the series is over. The series is done. Everything was wrapped up in a nice bow and package, and I loved how it ended.
Yeah,
now,
man, it was awesome.
I know just from seeing out there, it seemed like a lot of people were definitely satisfied with the way the show ended. I know it's always been a big thing in the past with other shows where the last episode ended. There's so much hype. I mean, one that comes to mind is Sopranos when that ended. Everyone was waiting for Tony Soprano to get actually, God bless his soul now, but everyone was waiting for him to get popped at the end, and nothing ever happened. And people kind of felt robbed from that, just because there was so much killing before that. I know another show out there was a favorite of mine was 24. The way that show ended,
coming back,
which now is coming back as a matter of fact. Yeah. So maybe it was right that they didn't end it that way. But at the same time, it just seems like this show definitely left everyone satisfied, and I had never heard a bad word about that show, to be honest.
Not yet. And to be surprisingly, man, I'm like a huge Sopranos fan. I got every season on DVD. I got all the box sets. I was not disappointed in the ending because I didn't want to know. I didn't want Tony to die. I didn't want it to happen that way. He was one of those characters that was polarizing. I didn't want it to end that way because that's so cliche. Okay, mob guy dies in the end, or gets arrested in the end. I just wanted it to, and I think that was the dilemma that the writers and the directors came. It's like, we really don't know if we want to kill him. And it's just like, let's just end it. Let's just end it and it's over. That's it. And I don't know if they did it because they had hope for a movie eventually down the line, but I didn't mind it. It was outrage the next day, but I was one of the people that sat back and said, you know what, that was nice art. it was nice art. David Chase did a great job in ending that. To me, personally, I didn't mind. And I love my Sopranos.
Now, did they end where it was fake? It just faded to black or something
It
like
just
that?
cut. It just cut to a black screen. Like they're
They're
sitting at
sitting.
a dinner table eating in a restaurant, and it just cut. You hear a door open, and a lot of people were thinking, "Oh, here comes the hit. Here comes the hit," and it just ends. There's
That's where they
nothing.
teased you because they kept showing
Uh,
Meadow too, trying to park outside, and
yeah,
every single cutscene they were just, "What? This could be it. This could be it. Who's getting capped?" And nothing happened.
nothing. Yeah, this
Now,
is fun.
I was gonna say, now switching to another show that seems to be very popular, that seems to be it's going to be starting up soon, is The Walking Dead. Now, I guess I'll admit as well, I haven't been watching this show either, so I'll go
The
stand on
Rock.
my This is one of those shows that seemed like it's been hot from the start.
Hmm.
When this first came on, it came onto a network that really didn't have any network series on there before. Now they're starting to grow. Now with Breaking Bad and now The Walking Dead, they're becoming a major player in the entertainment market up there with CBS and NBC with the big three networks.
Hmm.
Now with them starting up this week, I think Chris is pretty excited for this one personally.
Oh yeah,
Much as
watching.
Dre is a Breaking Bad fan, Chris is all about The Walking Dead.
Oh man, I've been following this series since the comic books, and I'm so happy. I want to see what's going on in the prison. If you haven't watched the series yet, I'm sorry, we're gonna spoil shit for you.
I'm used
You
to it.
you need to fucking watch it. It's not really spoiling anything because there's still so much to go on. Like they've been showing clips of people getting killed in the prison, and the zombies are now inside from the commercials. And oh man, I'm excited. I can't wait to see what happens.
Yeah, I'm geeked as well, man. Like you said, I'm a fan. I've been reading the comic books as well, and I like the fact that the show is taking liberties and not exactly following the
Exactly.
book for book. And, they take some of the stuff out of the comic, but they actually changed the whole. Even in season one, that whole CDC thing that never happened in the comic
Never
books.
happened.
It never happened. It was all written for the show. So I'm like really on, pins and needles because like I don't know what's gonna happen next. Yeah, they
Hmm.
did the prison, which was in the comic book, but they've also done things that wasn't in the comic book. So by me reading the books and knowing what comes next in the books, that's not necessarily what's gonna happen in the show. So I'm just excited to see it because sometimes that can be a spoiler. Like if you've read the comic book, oh, this is gonna happen next. This character's gonna pop up now. This character's coming. We have no idea what these writers are gonna do right now. What they put into this season, and it looks phenomenal from the trailers and everything that I've seen so far. Tomorrow night, don't call me, don't text me, don't do anything. Leave me alone. I'll be sitting in front of the TV watching zombies, man. Like I can't wait.
Yeah, same here. Can't wait. And I like how they missed like one of the scenes in the comic books that I thought they was going to touch on in the show is when one of the inmates was a rapist and he kills one of
Yeah, yeah,
Herschel's kids.
yep,
I
yep.
thought for a second I forget his name. He's a weasel looking dude.
Yeah, yeah, the white guy with the mullet and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He
It
turned
was
out to be an all right guy. Like,
yeah. I was hoping
it didn't
like
work out too well for him in the end, but
I thought he was gonna be that guy that's gonna flip. Like when soon as he get him alone, so many times I was waiting on it and they didn't. Yeah, I love how they're just not making the comic book TV version of this
yep,
whole series.
it's awesome, man.
And like I have to say, like just seeing Rick in the comic book versus Rick in the series, it's two different Ricks because Rick gets
Yeah,
fucked up in
man.
the comic book.
Is it gonna be rated day?
Rick, Rick goes through a lot. Rick, and even Carl. Carl goes through a lot more than getting shot in the comic books. Like,
Yes, I love Carl in I love Carl in the comic books. Carl in the TV show, I want to shoot that fucking kid. I don't like him, even though now he's becoming more of a G. In the
yeah,
last
he's
couple
coming
of
around.
seasons, he's coming around. But from the get go, I wanted that kid to die.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was rough dealing with Carl those first couple of seasons,
Oh,
man.
when that zombie was about to eat him, I was saying, yes, get his ass, chew him up, fuck that,
Get him.
get him. That's what your punk ass get for going off in the
Oh
woods.
man, yeah, that,
Now
that
what
it's
now what season is this show in currently, or what's going to start? Is it the
I think it's season 4.
okay? So it's
uh Yeah, 4 or 5. Is it? It may be 5. Well, no, yeah, it's
No, it's
4 because
four. It's four.
they
Four.
cut last season up. Yeah, they cut it up in 2 last season.
Yeah.
So
which seems to be what they're doing a lot with these shows now, because I think they're going to be doing that with Mad Men as well. When that show starts its final season, they're going to split it up into 2 seasons. I don't know if this is just something that AMC is doing exclusively, but apparently they have quite a few shows on their hand, and they're trying to spread out the ratings a little more.
That's what,
I
because they
mean,
did
good for
that with
them.
Breaking Bad too. Because Breaking
Exactly.
Bad
Yeah.
ended, and they just cut it off and waited till next year to actually release the last, I think, 8 episodes.
yep, yep. And
Exactly.
I think it all started with like Lost with that writer strike when they cut Lost up in the middle of the season, and it came back and they had phenomenal ratings when it came back to TV. Like, oh, we could really take advantage of this and do it on purpose from now on. And I think a lot of TV shows have tried to do it, and
I
some are
think
successful, some fail.
I think it was like absence made the heart grow fonder,
Oh
with
yeah,
it
definitely.
on, and I think it definitely played into that part as well. And like for me, admittedly, I know I'm not much of a Walking Dead fan. That's another show I might catch on down the road, hopefully. Now, what I am a fan of, quite admittedly, is Next Generation Gaming, and I know I'm ready, and I know you guys are ready, and we've been talking about this for the last couple of weeks now, going back and forth as far as the benefits between, the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4, and I think we all know where we all stand on this, but I'm just gonna ask you bottom line. Are you ready, Dre?
Oh yeah, most definitely, man. I can't wait, man. I'm counting down the days. Like, but I'm not so ready to say goodbye to my Xbox 360 because there's so many games on it that I really hold close to my heart that I love playing, and games that are coming soon, like Batman Arkham Origins. I can't wait for that. But I'm really really excited. The next generation titles that I have seen got me really pumped. Like Titanfall, even though it may not be available till next year. I can't wait for that. Even when you speak on PS4, which I'm a fan of. I won't be purchasing one opening day, but I will get one down the line. But when you think about Uncharted 4, that's going to be a beautiful game. It's going to be awesome to play. Like I can't wait, man. Like I just hope that in the next coming months, we get to see a little bit more footage of these next gen games. Like I want to actually see them in, we've seen Madden a little bit. We've seen clips that they've doctored up for the
Little
E3s and the
teasers.
consoles. Yeah, I just want to see more. I want to see more, and I want to see what we're getting into for the next gen.
I agree 100%, especially like with NBA 2K14. They have not really shown too much next gen gameplay on that game. And
Yeah.
I'm currently saving myself from the whole NBA 2K14 until I get it next gen on the PlayStation 4. And yeah, I am absolutely ready for next gen. To me, it seems like it's um, that series, last gen series, lasted a little bit too long for me because it just seemed like they already pushed the systems to their max capabilities. Well, I thought that with Uncharted 3, but when I seen The Last of Us, blew my fucking mind.
Yep.
Um, but you can see they're kind of running out of space to do the things that they want to do, and they're pushing those systems to the limit. So yeah, I'm definitely ready to see next gen. Like Dre said, Titanfall is another one I'm really excited for. We'll be picking up an Xbox One just to play that game. Um,
Oh, you heard it here
You
first.
heard it here.
I've been said this plenty of times before. I am getting the Xbox One. I am getting PlayStation 4 day one. It is my system of choice, but I'm a gamer at first and foremost. So
Yeah.
Xbox gonna have their exclusives, even though with Halo, I want to play that. Even though I thought I finished the fight back in
Oh
Halo
man.
3,
Yeah. What
but
happened to finishing the fight?
I thought I finished that fight. So
We
I
have some
guess
more
we have more
fighting to
fighting to
do.
do, and they already said it's going to be like another 3 series. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing because if Halo is going to be beautiful.
Oh
They
God.
push Reach to its max capabilities on the not PlayStation, sorry, Xbox, and it's just time for them to grow. They need more space. They need more room to operate. Get them graphics looking crisp and beautiful like we all expect it to be, and outdo each other, each game every year. So I'm definitely looking forward to next year.
Can't wait, man. Can't wait. Can't
Oh
wait.
yeah, I think just the hype that's been going on in the last few months, just when you saw when the systems first became available, the fact that they were sold out within a matter of days, pretty much. From your normal stores that you would go get them, GameStop, any other store. I personally had to go to the Microsoft store, which was a little kiosk out in 12 Oaks Mall in Novi, just to reserve my day one copy because there was nowhere else I could go for it.
Yep,
And
yep.
I'm surprised. I don't know how they're going to do this on the day of release, to be honest with you. If I'm going there to reserve my copy, I'm assuming there's going to be hundreds of other people, if not thousands, trying to get a copy, their system that day. And we're just going to be, it's going to be look like a concert in a mall in a way, just
Definitely.
trying to get their system. And I know just recently with Xbox, they just showed their unboxing video with Major Nelson on there, showing you everything that comes along with it. And, all the cool Kinect camera, which seems to be a little bigger, a little more sturdier. Like you can do some damage with hitting someone over the head.
Zombie apocalypse, you can take that somebody's head off with that.
Yep,
Yeah,
yep.
this looks dangerous.
Microsoft is thinking ahead, man. They're thinking ahead for the zombie apocalypse.
Now, I did want to say this. Now, I told Tomas about it was probably like almost a month ago that Best Buy opened up their pre-orders for Xbox One, and he said he was not gonna go. I'm like, dude, you're gonna miss out if
I
you don't
pushed
go.
I pushed it. I admit that because when I first heard that, I was thinking, okay, I'll go tomorrow. It's this little thing called procrastination. Apparently, it kind of caught up with me because he told me specifically. I looked it up. I saw it. I said, okay, I'm gonna go check. I'll go get my copy. Something came up, forgot about it completely. I said, okay, I'll go get it later on. Well, like 3 days later, I go look. Oh, we're not taking any more reservations, and after a few swear words and F bombs, realizing what I did, I just like, okay, well then that's when I located the Microsoft store. Thank God we had two locations close to us that we can go to for at least I could reserve a copy. Because if not, then I'm trying to get those day one achievement points. I don't know about you,
Definitely.
but
I'm an achievement whore, man. I whore out to achievements. I'll buy a game just to get the achievements.
I
And
can't tell you how
or
many
I'll,
games I've done that for.
man, you ever looked on your friend's gamer tag and see what achievements they have and then go play that specific game just to get that
guilty.
achievement and say, you're not gonna outdo me, man. You're not gonna outdo me on this game.
Oh yeah, I think we're all guilty. And I think in a way when you look at the person's profile, when you see their gamer score, obviously gives you an idea how much they play, how many games they play, because obviously the higher it is, the more time you put into it. And the more time you put into these systems means sometimes the less time you're spending with your significant other. Now, if we're not all lucky to have our significant others as gamers, then it could pose a little bit of a problem. But I don't. I know for me personally, what works is that recently we've been playing Grand Theft Auto. My wife certainly enjoys like watching the game. She won't play it because it's a little too much for her with the racing and the shooting and whatnot. But the way it plays out, it's almost like watching a movie in a way where she's watching a movie, she's being entertained. I'm playing a game, I'm happy. Happy wife, happy life. That's what they
Yeah,
tell me.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
okay. Do you guys have any tips as far as keeping your wife happy? Chris, I know with Amber, you guys don't have it in the bedroom, which was a rule that you two had made. And
Yeah,
what are some other
no.
tips that you can share where keeping the wife happy and getting your games in at the same time?
Now, I'm just since I'm the PlayStation 4 person here, with the remote play that's coming out, definitely that's going to be a huge feature for anybody that has a wife that's not really loving your gaming hobby. Because anytime you want to play your PlayStation and you're on the road, all you need is a Wi-Fi. Use your phone, tether it to your phone, or restaurant or whatever. I mean, you don't want to do it right in front of her, but you're out to an event, going to the mall where you're helping her shop, all that kind of stuff. That remote play, be able to play my PlayStation 4 games on the go is going to be huge. So that's going to be a huge tip to anybody out there with wives that want you to join in on everything.
Like
Yeah,
maybe going to the apple orchard or something on a date
Yeah,
today.
that's next week.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I think with me and my girlfriend, she's not a gamer. She's not a gamer. We do live together, so she knows that gaming is a huge, huge part of my life. That's what I do. That's one of my favorite pastimes. So I've been trying to sneakily incorporate her into the games. Like, she's a big, big fan of the Lego games. And for any of you that got spouses that play these games, get your girlfriend to play this Lego games with you. It's hack and smash all day. And most of the time, it'll be movies or characters that they know. Like, I've slowly been incorporating her into like superheroes. So we go see all the superhero movies together. And surprisingly, I'm at work the other day and she like texts me like, "Did you see this?" And I'm like, "What?" And she sends me a picture. It's like Lego Marvel superheroes. She's like so excited. She sent me like 4 smiley faces in a row. Like, "I can't wait. I can't wait." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, I got her. I got her hooked in now.
Yeah.
She's in there. She's a part of the gaming community now." Like, even though it may just be Lego games, and we also play like the Dance Central games, where she just murders me in because she's a woman and she dances better than me. But it's still fun. It's still gaming, man. It's gaming, and she's participating with me, and it's like, if you can get that nice balance where you do things with her and she can get her to do things with you, like you said, happy wife, happy house, man, happy life. So.
Indeed. I know with me and my wife, it first started with Rock Band. That was the first game we started playing together.
Nice.
There was a few nights, Friday nights where we just didn't want to go to the bar. Say, hey, let's fire up Rock Band, sing a few songs, have a few beers and just have a good time. And it definitely worked out. And then they kind of evolved when we started playing board games on there, where they had the Hasbro game where you can play like Connect Four. Monopoly was on there. Life was on there. A bunch of other Yahtzee was one. Games like that she started playing more and more, and then the more famous games like Wheel of Fortune and Price is Right, things like that on the PlayStation. Well, now they're on the Xbox now, but games like that where you find that they have an interest in, they can participate. I know there's a few times where I'm getting ready to play football. She's like, I thought we were going to play Wheel of Fortune. And, how do you tell your wife no when she says something like that?
Right.
She bats those baby blues. And I fall for it every time, personally. There's nothing I can do about it. And so of course, I end up putting my games aside and playing with her for a little bit. Then, she plays for a half hour. We're both happy. Then I can go out and play my games. And,
Yep.
she kind of squeezes in there, squeeze some time together, and it definitely works out. Now, with something that's also coming up, and I'm not going to budge on this one personally, is the MLB postseason. Now we're down to the Final Four. We got the Tigers and Red Sox starting up tonight, Game 1. The Dodgers and Cardinals played Game 1 last night. Cardinals came out with the victory, up
Epic
1
game too.
so far.
Yeah, that game was really good.
Epic game, man.
I don't even know where to begin with this, because with Detroit the last round, what they went through with Oakland, it seems like they've been doing it every year. You're seeing it now. This is the third year they've gone back to the ALCS. It's the first time since the Yankees did it back in the late 90s. You're starting to see somewhat of a dynasty built. And even though with no World Series championships as of yet, it still worries me, because Boston's a great team. They're going to bring it, and Cabrera's not healthy at all by any means.
At all.
And I just don't know if he can make it through this postseason, or pitching holds up somewhat. We might stand a chance, but I'm torn. I don't know about how do you feel, Dre?
I've been saying it. I called it at the beginning of the season. Not to say I called it, but this was my prediction: was L.A. Detroit, and it's coming close. It's coming close. I knew
Halfway there.
both of these teams. Yeah, halfway there. I knew both of these teams would be there, but now I'm looking at Detroit, and it's like you said, we got Cabrera injured. I mean, he's still slapping the ball around like Cabrera does, because when you can hit, you can hit. And it's just that when you got him out there in the field and you're playing an a team that's so powerful on offense like Boston, they're gonna spray the ball everywhere. Do you want that liability at third, because Cabrera can barely stand, man? You know what I'm saying? And playing Boston really, really worries me, because they don't have the best pitching. I think I give the advantage to us as Detroit as far as pitching goes, but they can hit that ball, man. They hit, and they hit for average really, really. Yeah, they put it in play. They hit for average really good. They do the simple things really well. And whether we want to admit it or not, that team is stacked. So that worries me a little bit. But I want to touch on that Dodgers game the other night. I'm kind of pissed, because they had that game in the 10th inning with a man on first and third with one out, and you get doubled up. That pissed me off. It really, really pissed me off. I wanted LA to take, any self-respecting Detroit Tigers fan is not a St. Louis fan. So yeah, it really pissed me off. But hey man, we got 3 more games, and like you said, it starts up tonight for us. So I can't wait. I'm excited about it.
I'm just worried about Austin Jackson and Torrey Hunter, because I'm so sick of them swinging that pitches in the fucking dirt.
Oh man.
Oh my God, I'm so tired of them swinging that pitches in the dirt.
Sometimes you can't help it. I know it sounds stupid, but it's crazy because sometimes if you watch baseball for any amount of time, you know it's more like peaks and valleys. You know,
Yeah.
you get hot, then you get cold. You get hot, you get cold. It's the best players that can stay consistent throughout any duration of time. And with Austin Jackson, I remember seeing that first at bat when he got the double in Game 1 against Oakland. I'm thinking, wow, he's setting the tone for the rest of the series with how the Tigers are going to perform. You know, he scored 3 runs that first inning, and then he goes on to strike out like 10 out of the next 14 at bats. And I'm thinking, what the hell happened here? And you know, thinking this is the guy that sets the table for us. Well, he ain't setting shit right now.
Right. That shit was pissing me off. I'm like, just pull him, put somebody else. I don't.
Really blowing it lately, man. He's really been blowing it lately. He came up with a couple of key hits and big hits, and in the series, what was it, game 4? He got a nice hit and really propel us to the victory. But he's got to, in order to beat Boston, we need some consistency out the leadoff spot, or it's going to be ugly.
Yeah, I mean, I know with baseball, it's you have your most successful players fail 7 times out of 10. I mean, that's just a fact.
Yep.
Now, with the reason I love baseball so much is sometimes the simplicity of it, but also how complex it is as well. You can't rely on just one player to win the game for you like you can in basketball, even football or hockey to some degree. Now with baseball, who's ever up, who's ever up. Now you can pitch hit for that person, but chances are the person you bring off the bench isn't going to be as good as the player you're replacing just because if they were, they should have started in the first place.
True.
Now that's just my opinion, but you need a bunch of components to come together and almost like the perfect blend where to win these games, to win the championship, you need everything to come together. And when Austin Jackson, when he was striking out all those times, there could have been a few times where if he just put the ball in play, it would help us significantly. Because when you strike out, you're not doing anything for the team. You can't run her over. You can't do anything, and it puts you behind the 8 ball, so to speak.
And is it just me, or does it like Jim Leland doesn't play small ball too much? Like he doesn't move runners over too many times.
No, he does. I know. I also know like the way this team is built. We don't have speed on the base paths. Austin Jackson's pretty much our fastest runner. Iglesias seems like he can be another guy that can steal a few bases for you, but for the most part, we're built like a softball team. You know, 3-run home runs all the time, and that's just how we play. We're not going to do too many hit and runs. We're not going to steal many bases. We're just going to hit the shit out of the ball. We're going to hit to right field or left field, hand out souvenirs to all the fans. And you see them, and then it's always a trouble when you play the National League because they play a different style where they need to incorporate the pitcher into the lineup. A lot of times that's an automatic out. Where in the American League you can get away with, obviously with the DH rule helping out. But there's certainly contrasted styles. Hopefully, if the Tigers are fortunate enough to make it back to the World Series, that we can at least just and perform. Because the last 2 World Series we've been to, we've just
laid down.
Team just stayed in Detroit.
We laid down. Yeah, we just laid down for him, man. We definitely laid down for the Giants last year. I was on vacation in Miami when the World Series was going on, and it almost ruined my vacation to watch that game. Me and my girlfriend, we got our Tigers gear on. We go to some random bar down on the Strip in Miami, and we're like 2 of the only Tiger fans in there, and they just laid down for the Giants. Man, it was ugly.
Yeah, it was rough to watch, and I know it probably what caused most of it, maybe not all of it, was the time off in between the ALCS and the World Series. Because you would think by sweeping a team it would put you at a benefit, and maybe this year it could because with Cabrera being injured, it might give him a little bit rest. But with baseball, the one thing is that you're playing every day. You got to stay sharp, and then when you're not playing every day, you start to lose it a little bit. Start to get a little dull. Your timing's just not there perfectly. You might see a few late swings, just things of that nature. And it's a delicate balance. It really is. And I think that's one of the things why I love baseball is because all those things need to come together. It's a complex sport.
Yep, I agree, man, completely.
Well, I think we did good today, guys. What do you guys think?
It was pretty good, man. Pretty good. Nice job for episode 2, man. Yeah.
Not too bad for the second time out, right?
Oh yeah, we still got some epic shows coming up.
Oh man, stay tuned. Anybody listening, stay tuned, man. We got some battles coming up on this. There's going to be
a slew of topics coming forward. We just don't have time for it today. Otherwise, I think we'd all have to quit our jobs pretty much and stay here full time. But For Tino313 and with Mr. Showtime, the MVP Dre Robinson, and Cable 2KX Chris Jordan, I'm Tomas Lopez. We'll see you guys next time.
Later.
Peace out.